set? Okay, you can start. All right, it is 6:01, and I'll call this meeting of the North Brookfield Board of Selectmen to order. It is June 4th, and we are at the North Brookfield Police Department. If you'll all rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no minutes to approve tonight. And I will entertain a motion to approve payroll warrant number 25 for $390,953.81. School warrant number 1087 for $176,501.43, and general warrant number 1088 for $354,608.97.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
Nope.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. This is you, Brandon. We have a Parks and Rec spending request. And you're looking for a tube slide?
Yeah, we want to get a tube slide and a new push mower.
Okay.
The push mower to be used on both the common and down the town forest park. And the one we have now is pretty much junk and also heavy to lug around. And the tube slide is for a project we plan to work on this summer. Sort of like our climbing wall, and then do another project like that.
All right.
So we get about $1,100 to cover those two items.
You have it in your budget?
Yes, we do.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve $1,100 expenditure for the Parks and Rec Committee for a tube slide and a new push mower.
So moved.
Second, any discussion?
No.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you want to talk about the signs now? You asked me to get prices last week. That'd be a separate issue, right?
If you want to bring it up,
Yeah, we can do it later.
yeah, let's do it later.
Okay.
All right. We have a letter here. You want to read that letter from Ethan?
Sure. It says, "Dear board members, it is my recommendation in an effort to make sure that funds allocated for the town administrator remain accessible, that those funds in the amount of $300,000 be transferred to group insurance with the understanding that the full amounts funds remain unspent until subsequently transferred for use relative to the town administrator or otherwise reallocated. This recommendation comes at the advice of the town's auditor and has been discussed by the town accountant, members of the Board of Selectmen, and myself. The purpose of this recommendation is to ensure that these funds are obligated correctly while remaining available for their intended use. Respectfully, Ethan Malad, Chair of the North Brookfield ARPA Committee."
I'll entertain a motion to approve the request to put those funds of $300,000 into group insurance for that, the purpose of the town administrator.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And just so everybody knows, we did have a candidate that we interviewed last Tuesday, and we actually had two good candidates. One was a little better than the other, and we offered him. We sent him an offer letter, and he did acknowledge that he liked our offer, and he is supposed to sign a contract. So we should have a town administrator hopefully within the next week. So that's just keeping everybody updated. So, all right, we have a Holden funds request from the Chief of Police. We get money from a reserve account from the Holden Hospital. Every year we get a certain amount, and we allocate it to the various emergency responder groups, and the police are one of those. And they're requesting $3,087 for emergency repairs to the fire suppression system at the police department. The system was having communication failure, and as a result, had to be taken offline from central monitoring. This action left the facility offline and unmonitored. If there was a fire and no one was in the building, the damage would be catastrophic. So I'll entertain a motion to approve that expenditure of $3,087 to the North Brookfield Police Department from Holden Fund, hospital funds.
So moved.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There, at this time, there's $4,882.60 in the fund, so after that, there's still, after the $3,087 is taken up, there's still a little bit left. All right. So, we have a letter from Mass DOT. You want to read that letter?
This one?
This is one we haven't discussed this yet.
Yeah, you have. You guys approved it last week, but then Kim wanted to just make, basically asking for an extension of the grant.
Right.
And it wasn't clear in her first letter, but she,
All right, so the grant that we received, actually, I'll entertain a motion to sign this letter to the District 3 Highway Director, Mass DOT.
So moved.
Second, so what this letter does is, our grant that we received expired, and we need to have it extended in order to fulfill costs for the Cider Mill Road Bridge. And we're not really sure why it was delayed. There's some conservation issues. There were also some DEP and EPA issues. We've had approval for this since 2018, and we've been having a real hard time with DOT, with EPA, and also with Fuss and O'Neill. So we've been trying to work this out to get this done, and now the grant's expired, so we gotta ask for an extension. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Have a copy to sign.
Do we both need to sign that, or is it just?
Just, all right. You want to read this next letter?
Sure. So this was our letter to the nonprofits in town asking for a charitable donation to the town for additional funds. So we would insert the name of a nonprofit to which this would go to. The town of North Brookfield would like to extend its gratitude for your presence in our community. The organization acts as a pillar for North Brookfield and provides services that are crucial to our residents and visitors. We acknowledge your role in helping our town be the wonderful place that it is. For this reason, we would like to maintain our joint commitment to this community and affirm our desire to act in partnership. To that end, the Board of Selectmen requests a voluntary donation to the town of North Brookfield. Donations like yours and your neighbors are what help us maintain our town and facilitate growth and the necessary improvements that help our town succeed. While any amount is greatly valued, a contribution of 25% of what your organization would pay in property taxes based on the assessments of the assessor's office is requested. The annual amount of your property taxes would be equal to, and we would insert the annual property tax amount for each nonprofit this letter is sent to. The entirety of these contributions will be reinvested in North Brookfield to provide you and the rest of our community with the resources and manpower needed to carry out our responsibility to the town. We thank you in advance for look forward to seeing you at the town meetings and strengthening our partnership as we continue to serve our constituents. Sincerely, the Board of Selectmen, Town of North Brookfield.
I'll entertain a motion to sign the letter to the nonprofits.
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion?
No?
So the only thing I would say is that, we really can't expect much, because most of them don't plan on spending that because they're not, they don't have to, but
Right.
I guess everything is.
Completely voluntary charity
Right,
gifts.
so everything is worth a try, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So, Colonial Power Group.
You don't see us for 4 years, and then you see us twice in
I know. I know. All right, so what are we doing tonight?
We're just going to mark out on Colonial Power, by the way.
Hello,
Denise Allen.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Joseph Capital.
Hi there.
So tonight, we're just gonna kind of run where we've been, kind of where we are, what we're trying to get done over the next few months. Just trying to lay out some timelines, see what works for you, and Denise is just gonna take us through that and explain kind of, the good news is, what we did say did happen. So you made a choice and you did get an approval. So that's the great news here, that, you know, the town can now move forward and get an aggregation going. It's just depending on timing and things of that nature.
Okay, so what we voted on last time got approved.
Not only that was approved, we filed the plan and you got an approval for your order that you've been waiting 4+ years for.
Nice.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Very nice.
So, yeah, so I think you have this in your packets.
Yep.
So I don't need, the first is basically just like Mark said, where the town has been. It's been 4 years, so we just wanted to kind of summarize with bullet points. I know there's been a lot of turnover and everything since then, so I can just run down this briefly if you want. And then
Sure.
Okay, so back in 2012, there was a town meeting vote that authorized the town to become a municipal aggregator for its residents for electricity. And that is the first step to having a municipal aggregation program. And then I think there was a failed attempt with another consultant in between 2012 and 2019. But in 2019, the town signed a consulting agreement with Colonial Power Group to formulate a plan and bring that in front of the Department of Public Utilities for approval. So that was signed in 2019. Drafted a plan, an aggregation plan and an education plan for the town. And then that was posted for public review from March 18th to April 12th, 2019. That's the requisite time required by the DPU back then. And the select board voted to approve that plan on March 5th, 2019. And that vote approved the plan and said it could be sent on to the Department of Energy Resources for a consultation, and then on to the Department of Public Utilities for review and approval. So the DOER consultation took place on May 15th, 2019 with a former select board member on the call as well, with Colonial on the call and the DOER's attorney. The DOER, after that call, generated a letter of satisfaction saying the town's documents met all the statutory requirements. After that, we bundled everything together, the town meeting vote, the DOER letter, the aggregation plan, the education plan, etc. And that was filed with the DPU back on May 30th, 2019. So that's when we filed. And then we waited. There was some other steps in between. There was a public hearing. There were some back and forth questions from the Department of Public Utilities. And then unfortunately, the DPU started to really, what was taking 5 to 6 months for approvals at the DPU slowed up to 3-4 years. And a lot of plans, many towns, 30+ towns were sitting in there for several years. But what has happened is the commissioners have turned over at the DPU. There's a new chair, I think we mentioned that last time, and they're making a concerted effort to move aggregations through quicker and delivering flexibility for decision-making back to the towns as opposed to the DPU trying to make decisions for what worked for every town when they don't really know what's best for the town of North Brookfield. So when we were in front of you last time on April 9th, we asked you to make a decision about some products. Unfortunately, in order to get an order out, the DPU asked that you did pick some renewable energy contents for products that you would issue once the program was launched. We did that. We submitted that plan, like Mark said, and the town got an approval order on May 7th. So you are all set to go out into the marketplace. So that brings us to page 2. And I think just to recap a little, so this is a municipal aggregation program, which is for your electricity bill with National Grid. It is on the supply side of your electricity bill. It is not on the delivery side. That's a monopoly. We can't do anything about that. National Grid will do poles and wires. If there's an outage, they'll come. They'll still take care of that. But you are allowed to go out and get your own supplier in Massachusetts. It's deregulated. A lot of people have individual contracts with third-party suppliers. you really have to read the fine print. The Attorney General says to, buyer beware on those, really you have to pay attention. Sometimes you get a teaser rate and then the rate goes up. There's an early termination fee. So what the town is trying to do is offer, provide residents with a third option, which is the town will go out on behalf of everyone who's on basic service, sign a contract with a supplier. It provides stability. You don't have any of those tricks with individual third-party supply contracts. And you can green up some product options if that's what you're looking to do. And obviously savings is the goal, right, over the national grid rate. So it's an opt-out aggregation, so everybody who is on national grid at the time the program launches, everybody who has national grid and is on basic service will be automatically moved to the town's program unless they opt out in the 30-day window at the beginning. So you can do that with a postcard. You can call either us, Colonial, you can call the winning supplier, you can go online and opt out. There's many mechanisms, and there's a letter that will go out to everyone who's on basic service. A lot of the language is kind of dictated by the DPU, but it'll explain all this. There'll be an apples to apples comparison on the national grid rate versus the town's rate. It'll all be spelled out. There'll be a postcard in there. You can just put it in an envelope and send it back. But that's the 101 of what's going to happen. So I guess what we want to talk about is when you can go out and launch your program now. We have to get you some pricing. You have to take a look at it. You have to make some decisions. We're going to need a signatory. And we just kind of wanted to talk to you about timing. I know it's been 4 years. We certainly don't want to rush you. The earliest we could start is September, but that might be, I think we were talking to Ashley, it might be tight. In order to launch in September, you'd need to mail the letter out in the middle of July for the 30-day window for the opt-out period, which means you'd have to sign a contract by the end of June. And I do realize that we are on June 4th. So if you were to launch in October, that just pushes everything back a month. And again, it doesn't have to be September or October. We're just saying, hey, you have an order, you can go out and take advantage of this. You're not required to start on a certain month. We just would like to get you some pricing and start the conversation so you can kind of look at what the pricing is for the different start dates and the different products and the different terms.
So, one other point, National Grid, right now, National Grid's rate is about 18 cents. I see that coming down. They go out to bid on June 12th. So if we have that indicative pricing after that, it allows you, which I'm fantastic, Monday morning quarterbacking, you can say, hey, we can, and that would be for, their rate would be 18 cents through July 31st, and then it's going to change. It's probably going to be high 15s or 16 cents from August 1st through, say, what would be January 31st. At that time, we could be making some adjustments, okay, here's your indicative pricing, this is what you'd be looking at 12, 24, 30, 36 months. Depending on that, then you could start to make some educated decisions like, okay, I'm up against 16, I'm making up the number right now, believe me, it's 13.5. Okay, we'd like to start that. That's going to create some stability over the next 36, 24 months, whatever that is, and we can have that discussion. That's just simply a dry run. Then some point further, if you like the pricing, we say, okay, we can start this program. I'm making this up with our October meter reads. It's not too quick. We can have plenty of educational sessions and so forth, making sure everyone understands, and then we can start, get final pricing, and someone here is going to have to be a signatory saying, yes, we're good to go. The one thing I want to state, Denise did say, this program is about choice, and if you decided to get out of the program at the beginning, 3 months later, you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have gotten out. You can get back in, there's no fee and there's no penalty. Say you decided to stay in the program, 2 months later you didn't like the program, you can get out of the program, there's no fee or penalty. And then you can get back in later, you can only get in on your meter reads. But this is truly about choice. You two are most important, it's an opt-out. So if people don't do something when they receive the mailing, they're going to be enrolled. That doesn't mean they have to stay there, that just means that they're going to be enrolled. That's all.
And even if they're in for a few months at the beginning and they decide, you're going to be under the rate at the beginning, they will have saved a few cents per kWh, and then they can opt out if that's what they want. So you're not harming anyone if they hear about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we got the choice of a September or October start.
That's our initial, it doesn't necessarily, if it doesn't work out, it could be December, it could be January. This is the beauty of aggregation.
So September's early.
Mm-hmm.
Really, yes.
Right.
For us to be able to go over everything with you. And
So we took the liberty, and I hope you don't mind, we requested we got the order, so we requested the town's data from the utility. We already sent it to the suppliers, just so they could load their stacks, so they had it, because we didn't know what we were going to say, so we just wanted to, they take a couple weeks to load their stacks. So they have it loaded, so at any time we can have them snap pricing for a September start, an October start, it's just.
Dry runs.
Dry run, you know, like, if you wanna see pricing in a couple weeks, we can send it over. Email it to Ashley, she can share it, we can come back, we can set up a Zoom with whomever, walk through it. You know, again, dry run, not committed to anything, but it kind of gets you kind of used to what you're looking at for a matrix and comfortable with the terms.
So, what is it exactly that you need from us tonight?
Do you want to see pricing for a September start? Just for informational, we'll send it to you. Do you want us to come back on, I think, what, the 18th is the next meeting with that? Do you just want us to email it to Ashley and then we can get on a Zoom? Then we'll be able to make a better decision if you guys are like, well, September's definitely out, it's too tight.
Well, I tend to think September is probably gonna be too tight anyway,
Yep,
especially with some of the things we have going on at the moment.
understood.
So, yeah,
Makes more sense.
We can have them do in October and then we can either come back, we can email it, we can have a discussion with indicatives.
so if we're gonna tentatively do an October start, when do you come back?
Well, okay, for an October start, we need to mail by mid-August, we need to sign something by the end of July. So within the next month, we'd want to come back with indicatives, review them with you, and then you can go to executable. So the sooner we can kind of review indicatives with you and you can get comfortable, then you can make a decision.
Okay, so late June, early July?
Yeah, you can sign it right now, I'm just saying, and then it doesn't sign
I
until.
can't possibly sign it right
No, I agree. No, but I'm saying you could sign a contract at any point we could sign a contract in July for a January 1st or a June of 2025.
I guess the question is, do you want us to come back in front of the board and review the matrix, or do you want us to set up a meeting with somebody and review the matrix?
Well, we have a new member of the board. We may have, we most likely will have a town administrator. It would be nice to have you come back and review everything.
Sure.
For those people, and refresher for a couple of the selectmen that have been on longer,
Yes,
and as well as the people that are watching.
absolutely.
You know, that way we can all be comfortable.
And at some point, we'll need to identify, not right now, a signatory at that point. I don't know if that's going to be the town administrator or.
Well, that's what we'll figure out, but we've got several options.
Right.
Agreed.
All right?
So when's the next time you'd like to see us back? And then we'll bring you for an October start, and we can get it over prior to that meeting, so if the people wanted to review before.
So is the end of June, last week in June, first or second week of July better?
Whatever you decide, but we'll, the week of the 24th, are you thinking, or the week of the 18th? I'm just,
Well,
I don't know what week
So
is.
the week of the 18th, we'll be back here on camera, and I think it should be on camera. The 25th, we're not on camera. So we do on camera every other week. So it would have to be 18th or July 2nd, but a lot of people are gonna be on vacation and stuff, so I don't know.
let's do the 18th.
Okay.
I think we'll all be here, right?
And I'm just hopeful, not guaranteeing, we may not know the national grid rate then, but it's gonna be close. If we know it, we're gonna let you know. As soon as we get it, we're gonna send it to Ashley, so that, again, this is,
That's fine.
okay.
Because
Yeah, that's fine, because to get everybody on the same page and
I think it's
looking at it, I think it would be better to wait, so.
Yeah,
Even if you don't have it, that's fine, because we can have another meeting.
yep. First of a couple discussions, so
Yep.
any information's gonna be helpful, so.
I agree.
All right.
Do you have anything else? No? Any questions?
Sounds
Do you have any
good.
questions?
I don't have any questions.
Anybody have any questions while they're here? Bill? No?
It's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else to add?
No, see you on the 18th.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So
Good to
much.
see you.
Thank you.
You've been fast friends here.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too.
You too. All right, so we have a contract with Peter Amorello for the Mount Pleasant Street project. We have to sign that. I'll entertain a motion to sign the contract with Peter Amorello for the beginning phases of the Mount Pleasant Street project.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No?
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I sign it? I'm Peter Morello.
What's that?
I'm Peter Morello.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for coming.
Well, I was a little late, but I got here. But anything I can do for you?
I don't really have any questions. We've been over this several times with the CMRPC, so if you want to give us a quick rundown of what you're going to be doing.
Gonna redo the main on Pleasant Street
Yep.
from what's the intersection all the way up the hill. Well,
North Main.
Yep, North Main,
North
all the way
Main.
up. Yep. Okay. How long do you think it'll take?
a month, maybe a little longer.
Okay.
But do you have the contract? I mean,
I have
Yeah,
it
it's over
here,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep, so I can have them sign it, but I need to bring it back because the town accountant needs to sign it and. Oh, and then I need Tara to sign and attest too, so.
Alright.
You're gonna sign. There. And then here, because technically you're still looking for maps. And then she'll sign here.
Alright.
And
Excellent.
then I'll get the rest of the signatures tomorrow and get it sent over to Joe and he'll get it back to you.
Did I sign that already?
You didn't, but Joe will probably get it over to you because I think you need to have a witness and a signature and a seal and all kinds of other stuff, so.
Okay,
Yep,
so I can go now.
you're all set?
You can go if you don't want to partake in the rest of the meeting.
I have a wife at home.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much. I look forward to do this.
Thank you. Alright. Alright. So, typically, the Board of Selectmen has a liaison to the Council on Aging. And we have not really had one. I think John Tripp was in a couple of years ago. And John's not on the board anymore, so we need the liaison to the Council on Aging. So, that being said, we'll probably wait till Brooke gets back. When's the next meeting?
Monday is the annual meeting.
Monday's the annual meeting.
Yes, so, and it's at 2 o'clock. I know that it's tough for one of you guys to get there. That's one of the issues that we had in the past. It might change in the future. I'm working on restructuring some of the,
Are all the meetings during the day?
yes, they are.
Because they used to be at night,
Yeah. I'm hoping to get back to that.
or at least a little later in the day.
Yeah.
I don't suppose you can make it Monday.
No, definitely not. I'm working.
I will try. I will try to make it. 2 p.m.?
Yes.
All right. And then next time, we'll put it on the agenda for our next meeting with the three of us that will vote on liaison. But you're gonna have to bring up at that meeting that they need to move it a little later.
Yes, yeah.
All right? Did you have anything else for us?
Only that I will start, I let Ashley know, starting next week, I'm gonna start sending over my monthly report.
Okay?
And it has everything, finances, everything that's going on down here, just so everybody's
Perfect.
aware of what's going on.
Wonderful. All right. Anything else?
Well, that's it.
Excellent. You doing okay?
Yep, surviving, just me, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Mass Technology Collaborative. Do we have to do this tonight, or can we put this up until next time? It
Um,
says June 28th.
Yeah, we can put it off to next time if you
All right.
want.
Yeah, I want to dig into it a little bit better. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. CDBG program extensions for fiscal year 20 and 21. So we have the program fiscal year 20, North Brookfield CDF, contract end date 6/30/25, date extension submitted 6/15/24. So, program extension to increase period of availability of funds to December 31st, 2024. So, I'll entertain a motion to sign the extensions for the community development block grant programs for fiscal year 20 and 21.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. All right. Okay. So that is the end of regular business. Do you have anything else to add? No? Public comment period.
Signs.
Go
You
ahead.
asked me to get prices
Yeah.
on signs for down the Town Forest Park, so I got prices. So, 2 signs, one, the big one with the silhouettes of the people crossing, and then the smaller one with the arrow. So one for each side, totals like $132.42. Throwing like $40 in there for line paint. So talking about maybe $175, and that's in our budget, and we'd be willing to pay for that. Jason says he has plenty of posts that we can use, so
Okay.
we don't need to pay for them. So we'd like to go ahead with that and then work with Highway or whoever to get that.
Now the line paints for a crosswalk,
Yeah.
and you think $40 is enough to go across that road?
Well, that's either
It's pretty wide.
4 cans.
Okay.
Well, we can, I mean, want to make it even, I mean, we do have the money in the budget. I mean, we could go
All right, well,
200.
So what are you looking for?
We're looking for approval to proceed to order the signs and then work with Highway or whoever we need to work
Right,
with.
but the total, 172,
175 or
175? All right.
in case we have shipping there.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve $175 from Parks and Rec to purchase pedestrian crossing signs and paint for a crosswalk at the Town Forest Park on Route 67.
So moved.
I'll second. Any discussion?
No?
Do you have anything else on that?
Not on that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, what else you got? Or was that it?
I think that's enough for today.
Okay,
I don't want to
anybody else? Bill?
bore you guys.
Well, we don't want to bring up complete streets, do we?
Not in the public comment period.
Okay.
You want to talk about the wax card? So we got an idea from the town accountant, Sheila Blank, about wax cards for town vehicles so they can purchase gasoline at the gas station instead of getting it from our pump over at the highway department, and it would actually save money. So I will entertain a motion to pursue the idea of getting those cards for the various departments that use a lot of our gas.
So moved.
Second, any further discussion?
Well, if it's gonna save us money, I think it's a good idea.
Yep. And plus, the other thing too is that the cards go with the vehicle, so you can actually track the gas usage better.
Is it to the vehicle or to the user?
The vehicle, I believe.
Gotta ask a question.
No. Go ahead.
What about, we use gas for Parks and Rec for the mowers? How would that work?
Well, we can look into that too. We can, it's very preliminary,
Okay.
but it's something that we're looking at doing
Okay, I
for,
mean,
To like a
that
town
wouldn't be-
hall car,
Yeah.
maybe.
Just, you know, just bringing to the attention that we do use gas.
yep. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then before we actually get the cards, we'll talk about it again and vote on it again. All right. Public comment period 2.0. All right. We have, for announcements, we have a special town meeting, Friday, June 14th at 6:45 PM, and an annual town meeting, June 14th at 7 PM. And those are at the school, right?
Yes, elementary school.
At the elementary school, as usual. And then I guess that's everything. Let's take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.